What's up, everybody? Welcome back to It's the Little Things podcast. I'm super excited to be back on today, but for a different topic and a different direction we're going today. So, along the lines of what I kind of want to do here on the podcast is to change it up a little bit. So, not just doing faith, but of course, faith also is integrated into every part of our life. And as I just graduated with a kinesiology degree, and that I'm going to continue in my master's, and also because I'm a personal trainer, fitness is just a massive part of my life. And it's helped me in so many different ways. And so I'd love to share some of my insight and knowledge with you guys. And so today I want to keep it relatively short and simple, but just an encouraging message, but also something that I think is really important for people to know. And it does happen and is incorporated with our faith as well. And I've seen how the two merge together so often with how I'm explaining things to people and how I've just learned it personally in my own life. So it's been really cool to see how the two go hand in hand. And so I'd love to show and share with you guys what I'm talking about. So something that I learned like a couple years ago when I first started my relationship with the Lord was there's always going to be a reason to not do something. There's always going to be a reason. And to this day, I still struggle with that. Something that I'm reminded of on a regular basis is why do something today that the Lord's given you the chance to do or why do something tomorrow when the Lord's given you the chance to do it today. I've also heard this in such a beautiful way explained to me, and very humbling is thinking. A question was posed to me one time, and it was, how prideful do you have to be to think that you're going to get the same opportunity that you got today, tomorrow? That how prideful are you that you think you get the privilege to have the same opportunity to do something tomorrow that you had the opportunity to do today? And I feel like that was a really humbling experience, and it really has helped me with procrastination. It's something I still struggle with for sure, but it's really helped me in that realm of procrastination, and especially when it comes to my health. So during everything going on with my concussions, I wasn't able to work out and train the way that I wanted to, and it was something that I was continuously struggling with. Like anytime my heart rate would get up, my head would hurt really bad. I'd get sick. It was something that I genuinely had to learn, essentially relearn how to train over again, and it was hard, and it was not fun, and I was barely working out twice a week, like not even. And it was something that really had an effect on my mental health, because it was going from a D1 athlete and then going to not being able to work out for more than 20 minutes without feeling nauseous and my head hurting and needing to go take a nap. It was something terrible, and it was something I hope that nobody ever has to feel, because it was terrible. But I genuinely think that it has taught me a very valuable lesson on how valuable fitness truly is, because now that I have the freedom and the capability to lift and to train and to run and to swim and to bike and all the things, when I have those opportunities to do those things, it's truly has. I'm so much more grateful for it now than I was before. And looking and going through getting a degree in kinesiology, it truly has been so cool, because I've seen all the reasons why. It's like I've seen it in my life without the knowledge of why it's beneficial. But now from a science perspective, it's really cool, because I'm like, oh, that makes so much sense. It was beneficial because it was doing all these things for me. Like when you lift, it alters your hormones, it alters your emotions, it obviously alters your body. And so there's so many different reasons that it's beneficial. But I want to get on the same page with you guys, because I feel like one of the biggest misconceptions is you can always just start whenever. And that is true. However, it's something that I think needs to be talked about, because I've worked with the general population for going on 4 years, I guess now. I guess 4 years, yeah. Going on 4 years now, I've worked with the general population in all different ages, from teenagers to 70-year-olds. And so I really have learned so much in that process of just truly how important fitness really is. So in your teen years, seeing how much of an effect it has on how you view your own body and how you are doing mentally, because your hormones are all over the place. for so long. So fitness is truly so helpful for those reasons. And then as you get older, it becomes more and more, yes, of course you want to look a certain way and you want to walk around and feel confident in your own skin, but then it becomes prescriptive, or like a prescribed, like it's something that you absolutely have to do. It's necessary. And I think we should always look at fitness and taking care of our bodies as something that is absolutely necessary. One thing that's been so hard to see is clients and people coming to me because they absolutely have to do something. They're like, I got to the point where I was in so much pain, or my doctor said I was overweight and I need to go work out. And those things are so heartbreaking to see, because I want somebody to feel good and feel healthy, and I don't want them to have to wait until it's absolutely necessary for their health. I think I want it to be something that comes before like a prescription. I want it to be something that is preventative, not a prescription. And so I think fitness should be something that's preventative. And sometimes you don't have that opportunity. Like, I know some people are going to listen to this and they're a little bit older, or they're already in the point where I'm talking about. And this message is also for you, because I want this to be something that you look at and you're like, okay, I'm really thankful that I started when I did. There is a book that one of my friends wrote, Now Not Later, and that phrase sticks in my head a lot. Like, now, just to do everything now and not later. And I think that says a lot about our faith. It says a lot about our fitness, but also it is such a great self-discipline tactic to say, to truly look at why you procrastinate things. I think that's something that's helped me a lot, because why am I procrastinating something? Why am I putting off responsibilities that the Lord's given me, or I have the opportunity to have? And so I think I would reflect on that. Like, why do you continuously push fitness back? It is something that you have to do. It is required of you to do. And if you don't feel like it is, if you just wait it out, you'll find out. The most common thing that I see when people come to one of my body balances class, which is mostly mobility and just being able to get people to move around, is that people will come to my class and they'll be like, India, I love this class. It's helped. My knee feels better. My shoulder feels better. Everything feels better. And I genuinely am just like, it's because you're getting movement in. It really is. Like, you could go to my class, you could go to somebody else's class, and I'm really thankful they come to my class, obviously. But it's like, genuinely, exercise is medicine. Like, it really is. And if you just zoom out and you look at, or you, I guess, exercise is medicine. And when you zoom in and you see just how beneficial exercise is, it will blow your mind. And if you're somebody who chooses it for one reason, you will see benefits in other areas of your life. So if you choose fitness in order to look a certain way, you will reap the benefits regardless. So you will be healthier if you're using healthy habits. You will, in turn, your bones will be stronger, your muscles will be stronger. You'll start looking the way you want to look, your joints and everything will stop creaking nearly as much. I think I've come to learn, yes, I have some creaky knees. I think it's just over time, but there's a lot of reasons that some things can creak. And even I am learning from a personal trainer perspective, like, why do my knees creak when I do this? And it's something that I continuously work on now. And so I think it is something that I feel very passionate about, because I think being in a place where you see parents getting older and grandparents getting older and people I care about getting older and not staying active, or just former clients that spent an entire life being sedentary and now they can barely get up and down off the floor. That stuff is really hard to see. And I think seeing that gave me a really beautiful perspective that I didn't have before. And so I really am thankful to say that that's something that I've seen, because now I can live in my life and teach people, hey, we're strong because we want to get stronger and you want to be healthier, but we also want to just be strong, of course. But also I want you to be strong for longevity reasons. I want you to feel good. I want you to feel good in your skin, and feel confident in the body that the Lord's given you. But also the Lord has given us such a beautiful opportunity to steward our bodies and our health. I think of constantly, like at church at the end or at the beginning of service, it's always said the Lord has given you finances and he has gifted you with these finances and you are given them to steward them well. And I think of the parables when somebody was given talents and they were given them to steward well and to invest in them, right? And when somebody didn't steward it well and they didn't invest in it and they just held on to it and they didn't do anything with it, the man was furious with him and took his talents away. And I think of that in terms of my body. Like, the Lord has given me this body. What I choose to do with it is, of course, my choice. Is it a smart choice? Maybe, maybe not. Is how I'm eating, how I'm fueling my body, is it a smart choice? Or is it not? Am I choosing to not stay active purely because I'm scared, or I don't want to wake up earlier, or I don't want to challenge myself, or I don't want to do something different? Am I doing that because I am lazy, or what's the reason? Because I think looking at it from a biblical standpoint, are you stewarding your health and your body well? Because I do see it as a gift to have something that the Lord's given us. We are given free will, and it's so beautiful. And I think we constantly are missing opportunities to steward things. And I think of that all the time. This morning, somebody at church got on stage and was talking about just giving this summer and being willing to volunteer our time and help with kids and serve at church and give our finances. And she said, I like the word entrust better. And I thought, man, that's such a beautiful word to think about it when it comes to our health and our fitness. The Lord has entrusted us with such a beautiful gift. I mean, we could have given, fitness can be something that everybody can enjoy. And I think once you find and you get in a rhythm and you find something that you enjoy, you don't have to power clean. You don't have to hang power snatch. You don't have to do those things. Do what makes you feel good, what makes you feel strong, and what is healthy for you. But when you think about that and how beautiful that is, that the Lord gave us all something that we could do to make us feel strong and to stay healthy, because he's entrusted us with this beautiful, unique image. I just think that's such a cool concept. And I think we should look at it as, man, this is a gift that I want to take care of and I want to invest in it. Just like the man did with the talents when he invested his talents, and his talents doubled whenever the man came back to see them. And so I think those type of things are really cool, and I like to look at it that way. But I also want to look at it from a scientific standpoint, because I think that is something that I think helped me a lot too, because I'm like, yeah, of course I want to look a certain way, but I don't really want to do that until I start looking like I don't want to look. Like right now, I feel confident. I feel confident in my skin. If I just didn't do anything until I didn't feel confident in my skin, and then I'm having to work backwards, then my body image is shot. I'm upset. I'm sad. And I'm like, I just, so you don't want to work backwards. You want to be proactive, and you want to get on top of that before it's to the point where you're like, man, I'm having to work backwards. And then for everybody who is at that point where they're like, hey, I'm working at this place and I want to feel confident. It's so awesome to continuously choose to take care of yourself. It's never too late. It truly isn't. It's never too late. There's always a time, even when you are at a point where you are sick and all these things, you can still do it. If you're to the point where you don't like what you look in your skin, it is not too late. You can literally choose to continuously entrust. Like let's say we look at it from the perspective of talents or from finances. Of course, it is better to start earlier. We know that. If you're looking at a Roth IRA, thanks, Mom. If we're looking at a Roth IRA, when you invest earlier and you invest as you go, obviously, the earlier and the more money invested, the better and the richer you're going to be when you retire. If we look at it from, instead of pouring into my Roth IRA and starting that at 18, I started it at 35, right? Of course, I might not have as much money in my Roth IRA when I graduate or when I retire, LOL. When I retire, I still have money when I retire, right? I probably made more money at 35 than I did at 18 anyway. So at that point, they're probably about the same. So all I'm saying is it's not too late. If you look at it from a financial standpoint, it's not too late. Don't wait forever, but it's not too late. So I want to look at it from, most people, especially women, know about osteoporosis. If you don't know about osteoporosis, you need to know about osteoporosis. There is this law called Wolff's Law that says that the more stress you put on your bones, the thicker and stronger they grow. When we don't put stress on our bones, and as we age, of course, bone density decreases. And so women, especially women, tend to get osteoporosis more than men, but that causes your bones to be extremely brittle. It's basically the part of your bone that eats away. So it's constantly in an eat away build up process. The part of your bone, the osteoclasts that tear away from your bone, that are the takeaway part, they take away your bone more than the osteoblasts can build up your bone, and that will give you osteoporosis. So over time, your bones will deplete. That is called osteoporosis, and it's something that has stuck in my head so vividly from anatomy and physiology, and so is Wolff's Law. And I don't know why those things stuck so much, but I'm so glad they did because I think about it every day. And then also, your bone and muscle density peak around the same time. So it's the 25 to 30 year range. Your bone density and your muscle density will peak. Okay. Now, if you're above those ages, I know this is going to sound really sad, but it's, again, not too late. So the reason I say that for everybody below those ages, I really want you to focus on hitting that peak at the height. So if you think about it, like regardless of where your peak is, it's going to peak, right? But let's say you're just working really crazy hard. So when you hit 25, your peak is going to be up here rather than halfway down that if you don't do anything until then. Does that make sense? So I say that, obviously y'all can't reply. But then if you think about it from another perspective, if you think about it past those ages, it's still going to decrease regardless. But if you're not doing anything, it's just going to continuously decrease, and your bones and your muscles are just going to deteriorate faster, right? But if you start working out, you start lifting, and you start doing all the things you need to do now, as they decrease, they won't decrease as much. So you'll have more to work with. So we can still improve that bone density and that muscle density so it's not too late. So that's something to keep in mind. So you might ask what the recommendations are. And I'll tell you, I will say also that, as we know, fitness improves our mental health as well. So it helps with sleep. If you struggle with sleeping, focus on getting some good physical activity in during the day. Last summer, my friend Caroline and I were taking summer classes here, and it was something that we did all the time, and something that really made me think of her when I was like preparing for this episode, was how her staying fit over she at one point she was like, I just am not sleeping. I have just all this nervous energy. She's like, I feel like I need to do some physical activity, like more physical activity during the day, because she was going on walks, but it wasn't quite cutting it for her. And so we started just focusing on getting more physical activity. She started playing soccer more and started lifting more, and it was something that truly helped her sleep. And so that's something to keep in mind. If you feel like you can't sleep as much at night, go do more physical activity. Go on a walk, go lift, go run, go bike, go do something that's going to help you get that nervous energy out, because it helps you sleep. It also cuts down on cardiovascular disease, high blood pressure, type 2 diabetes, high cholesterol, obesity, cancers, dementia, which also includes Alzheimer's in that one, and depression. So it literally only helps you. It only helps you. It also helps, if you're older, prevent fall-related injuries. But I will say that there's a lot of different things you could do. It doesn't just have to be exactly what you picture lifting to be, but as long as you are challenging and putting extra stress on your bones and your muscles in a positive way, that is good, and I like it, and I want you to start now. Yay. The other thing I will say is it is recommended, this is just like the standard from the CDC, is that you get 150 minutes of moderate intensity exercise a week, or 75 minutes of vigorous activity a week. Do you know how little that is? It's really not that much. It's like if you lifted 3 times, if you worked out for 3 times a week, you hit that for 50 minutes, right? So that's easy. Or if you spread it out more, that would be fine too. 5 days of 30-minute workouts. Boom, done. However, I will say that there is such thing as too much. And it says that if it is over 90 minutes or more than 23 days out of the month, so if you're physically active, like extremely physically active, either 90 minutes at a time or 23 days out of the month, it is said that it actually decreases your emotional state. So I would keep that in mind if you're like somebody who goes over the top. I tend to do that, so just keep that in mind when you're thinking about it. But all that to say is, I want you to start and I want you to choose a goal that is reachable. I think the big thing that I find oftentimes in clients is they bite off so much more than they can chew. And it's such a cool thing, but that's why things fail. That's why diets fail. That's why diets don't fail. We fail at doing diets, but that's a whole other topic. But I will say that there are a lot of things that you can do differently. Think about it not like you're changing your whole life. Take things out of your life. So, like if you scroll 6 hours a day on your phone, maybe take that part out and go on a walk instead. Just like switch habits, right? Just make small adjustments week by week by week. Make each week have a new goal. Because if you try to change everything, you're like, I'm going to wake up at 5 a.m. every single day, and you are a 11 a.m. waker upper, you are probably not going to be consistent. You're just going to probably do it for maybe a week if you're lucky, and then it'll fall off. So just keep that in mind. Small adjustments to improve your health. It doesn't all happen at once. I would rather you be able to keep those habits for longer than not do it. So if you are somebody who really struggles with staying fit and eating well, pick one habit and do that for 60 days. If that habit is go on a mile walk every day for 60 days, that is good enough for me. But do something. Don't keep doing the same thing and expect different results. It is not great, and is not how the Lord expected you to steward the responsibilities He's given you. And I say that to myself as well. So don't keep doing the same thing and expect the Lord's just going to make you magically skinny or magically healthy. Of course, He can do miracles. I'm not saying He can't, but He has given you this body. He has entrusted this body with you. Take care of it. Treat it like you would want a person you care about to treat their body. If you don't treat your body, you cannot be saying nothing about anybody treating their body well. If you're not taking care of yourself and you're lecturing your parents or your sisters or your brothers or your friends about, oh, you don't take yourself to the doctor when you have something wrong with you, yet I'm over here not taking care of myself, I can't say nothing. So just keep that in mind. But I say this with a loving hand around your face because I love you and I care about you. And I've seen way too many people get injured and get sick and fall and hurt themselves and just be mentally unhappy and unstable. And I don't want anybody to get to the point that happens. And that could happen, even with fitness. Life happens. But why not do things to prevent those things more? If I know I could potentially get cancer one day, which is on there. If I know that, why would I just let that happen? Or would I try to do things to prevent those things, like stay healthy and go to the doctor and get checkups, right? So take care of yourself, make a change this week, and in everything you do, be a light for Jesus and be the reason someone smiles today. Bye.